That's Jack Styring calling yesterday's Hanging Rock races. Now, there are certain stories that you guarantee will go round the world because they sort of have the flavour of the nation from which they emanate.
It's un-Australian of those kangaroos, isn't it? To interrupt a race meeting.
Yeah. For example, you might read a story that a Spanish matador had married a bull.
Yes.
Or that an Englishman had changed his name and was now known as Mr. I Love Winston Churchill. Surely the story of the Australia Day races at Hanging Rock Racing Club having to be called off due to an invasion of kangaroos is currently ricocheting
on Australia Day
all around the world. It must be boring for Mark Graham, the club manager of Kyneton and Hanging Rock Racing Club, to be speaking with a Melbourne radio station where no doubt they're queuing up from Peru to Paris. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Ross and John. How are you both?
Is that not the most extraordinarily Australian story that the Australian Day races at good old Hanging Rock had to be called off due to an invasion of kangaroos? Can you believe it?
No, I can't, to be quite honest. It's very unique and very different, and while it was disappointing to lose the race meeting, the circumstances were pretty Australian.
I can't believe that just because these kangaroos turned up, you had to cancel the races. What were they? Were they recidivist? I mean, they sort of bounded onto the track, nicked off, and came back.
Yes, we actually encouraged them and ushered them out of the race club fence line on 3 separate occasions. And on each time, they just went out into the next paddock and took a Dennis Lilly run up and cleared the fence and back in again.
How many races did you get underway before you had to call them off?
None.
None?
No, at all.
I doubt that would have been a significant impediment to the crowd's enjoyment of the day.
No, look, from what we could see was the vast majority, not all, there's always some disappointed customers, but 80 to 90% of the attendance, which was over 5,000, stayed for the majority of the day and looked like they had a great day. We had the Melbourne races on the big screen and all the other interstate races and roving entertainment and kids' activities, so there's plenty to do.
Was there any consideration given to invoking Rule 303?
No, there wasn't.
Not even a teensy-weensy little consideration to Rule 303?
Well, maybe when I couldn't sleep at about 1:30 this morning, that thought might have gone through my mind.
What was attracting them? Were they sort of like bears in Yosemite National Park? Were they coming in to get pies or something, were they?
I'm not quite sure what happens for the majority of the year. We only race on New Year's Day and Australia Day at Hanging Rock. And for the other 363 days a year, we open the gates at the course because it's inside the reserve, and we let the wildlife basically move across and in and out of the reserve. And on this occasion, for some reason, 6 kangaroos decided we want in.
Hey, I've been to the Hanging Rock races on Australia Day, and when I went there, the race caller was the great Jack Styring. Who was going to be calling yesterday?
Rick McIntosh was calling the majority of the program, but Jack was going to have his last call and call the Hanging Rock Cup. So that was going to be his last call at Hanging Rock, so we're going to have to try and drag Jack out of retirement to do it again at some stage.
Do you get a replacement meeting, Mark, or is that it? We just hang around and wait for you got to wait till New Year's Day 2012?
Look, that's to be advised, boys. We're going to have some discussions with Racing Victoria over the next couple of days about whether it's feasible to reschedule it. So I'll have more information on that next week.
Good on you, Mark. And I have guessed that there would be media interest from around the world.
I am getting phone calls from, everywhere and anywhere.
Mark, thanks for your time.
Anytime.